The champagne flute shattered against the hardwood floor. A brittle scream that cut through the murmur of the crowded rooftop bar. My hand trembled, the cold sweat on my palm betraying the calm I'd been faking all night. Sarah's eyes, those hazel pools I'd drowned in for 3 years, flicked toward the mess, then back to her phone. Not a word. Not a glance. Just the soft tap of her thumb against the screen. Her lips pursed like she was swallowing a secret. The air smelled of jasmine and cigarette smoke, thick with late summer heat, and I felt it choke me as I stood there, a stranger in my own skin. We'd come to this party to celebrate her promotion. Her dream job, her victory lap. I'd been proud, beaming, even as the distance between us grew these past months. Her late nights at the office, her distracted smiles, her phone always face down. I chalked it up to stress. Ambition. Love doesn't die in silence, I told myself. It bends, it stretches, it waits. But tonight, her silence was a blade and I was bleeding. The bar pulsed with laughter and clinking glasses, fairy lights strung above casting a golden glow over the crowd. Sarah stood by the railing, her black dress clinging to her like a second skin, her auburn hair catching the light as she leaned toward her coworker Mark. He was all easy charm, his hand grazing her elbow, his laugh too loud, too intimate. I watched, my chest tightening as she tilted her head, her smile a flicker of something I hadn't seen in months. Not for me at least. I sipped my whiskey, the burn grounding me, and tried to focus on the conversation around me. Her colleagues droned on about office politics, but my eyes kept drifting to her. The way she tucked her hair behind her ear when Mark spoke. The way her fingers lingered on her glass, mirroring his. Small things, stupid things, but they gnawed at me like termites in the foundation of our life together. Everything okay, man? Jake, her friend from college, clapped a hand on my shoulder. His grin was too wide, his eyes too knowing. I nodded, forcing a smile, but the unease coiled tighter. Jake had always been too close to Sarah, too quick with a joke or a touch. I'd never liked him, but I'd trusted her. Trust was the scaffolding of love, wasn't it? Without it, everything collapsed. The night dragged on and Sarah's silence grew heavier. She didn't look at me, didn't ask me to join her when she drifted to another group, didn't acknowledge the glass I'd broken or the way my hand shook as I cleaned it up. I was invisible. A ghost haunting my own relationship. My mind raced, replaying every moment of the past year. Her canceled dinners, her vague texts, the perfume I didn't recognize on her coat. I'd rationalized it all, built a fortress of denial to keep the truth at bay. But denial is a fragile thing and it was cracking. Then it happened. Jake approached, his grin gone, his eyes darting nervously. He pressed a folded piece of paper into my hand, his voice low. She told me to give you this. I stared at the note, my pulse hammering in my ears. The words scrawled in her elegant script. Wait outside. I looked up, searching for her, but she was gone. The crowd swallowed her, leaving only the echo of her laughter. My legs moved before my brain caught up, carrying me through the bar, past the blur of faces, the clink of glasses, the hum of music. The note burned in my pocket, a live wire. What did it mean? Why outside? Why now? The street was quiet, the city's pulse muted under the weight of my dread. I leaned against a lamppost, the metal cold against my back, and unfolded the note again, as if it might say something different. It didn't. My phone buzzed, her name on the screen, but it was just a text. Be there in 5. No explanation, no warmth. I stared at the words, my heart a fist in my chest, and wondered when we'd become strangers. 5 minutes stretched into 10, then 15. The air grew cooler, the streetlights harsher. I paced, my shoes scuffing the pavement, my mind spiraling. Was she leaving me? Was this her way of ending it? Or was it something else, something worse? I thought of Mark, his hand on her arm, and the nausea rose like a tide. When she finally appeared, her heels clicking against the sidewalk, she wasn't alone. Mark was with her, his arm around her waist, her head resting on his shoulder. The world tilted, and I gripped the lamppost to keep from falling. She saw me and her face, God, her face, was a mask of guilt and defiance, her eyes wet but unapologetic. Tom, she said, her voice soft but steady like she'd rehearsed this. I didn't want you to find out like this. Mark stepped back, his hands raised as if he could deflect the wreckage. I'm sorry, man. It just happened. I wanted to scream, to hit him, to beg her to take it back. But all I could do was stare. The note crumpled in my fist, my heart splintering. How long? I managed my voice raw. She looked away, her lips trembling. 6 months. 6 months. Half a year of lies, of her body next to mine while her heart was somewhere else. I thought of every moment I'd doubted myself, every night I'd waited for her, every excuse I'd swallowed. The betrayal wasn't just her with him. It was the life I'd built on her promises, now ash in my hands. Why? I asked, the word a wound. She met my eyes then and I saw it all: guilt, love, shame, relief. I don't know, she whispered. I still love you, Tom. But I love him too. The confession hit like a blade, clean and deep. I wanted to hate her, to walk away and never look back. But love doesn't vanish, it lingers, a bruise you can't stop pressing. I turned and walked into the night, the note falling to the ground, her voice calling my name. I didn't stop. Not because I was strong, but because I was afraid of what I'd do if I stayed. As I disappeared into the city, the streetlights blurring through tears, I realized the note wasn't the betrayal. It was the truth she couldn't say to my face. And that hurt worse than anything else.